On the retail market, the Ghana Cedi concluded the week with a significant week-on-week loss of 2.97 against the American dollar and against 0.90% from the previous week. And this resulted in a year-to-date loss of 14.11 at the end of April 2024. And versus the pound and euro, we're also dealing with 17.63% and 12.11% losses, respectively. Mm-hmm. And I always maintain this is happening at a time when we are not even servicing our external debt.
Sure. Yes. See, it's firstly, it's a demand and supply problem, and it's very worrying.
Is this one of the legacies? Don't mind me. Yes.
No problem. It's a demand and supply problem.
Right.
I will always believe in finding solutions to problems.
Right.
The conversation we were having before this fits into this.
Yes.
You know, we floated our currency some years back. When you float your currency, you have to back it with your reserves or dollar reserves that you have. So if you don't have the dollar reserves, what will happen? Your currency will be devalued accordingly. We have a demand of less about $4 billion. I mean, it is minuscule if you look at what demands are there out there. $3 billion, even private companies in America or China can fund this. However, the whole state of Ghana cannot find this money. Why? Because our exports don't meet or what we earn on the supply side don't meet this. And if it comes back to what I was talking about, it's when you export.
So is it not because what we earn is not actually our money? Because you see, anytime I tell people to drill down the data. Mm-hmm. When we talk about trade surplus, yes, you look at it on the face of it, and it looks like your exports have outstripped your imports. However, that's just on the surface. When you drill down the data, how much of that export earnings is actually
coming into you? Yeah, exactly. Yes. So what I'm saying is that's why I'm coming back to the same thing. Right. If you depend on a single item like cocoa, where before and gold.
Now gold is leading. Gold is doing, I mean, close to 50%.
Even if gold was doing $10 billion a year for us, it's still a drop in the ocean.
Last year it did about $7 billion.
It's still a drop in the ocean. I mean, we have to be realistic. Malaysia, Thailand, they've all been through these difficulties before. In the 1998 crisis, they all went through these things. How did they solve these problems? They all decided to push their exports. But you cannot, the value of your exports, the value of your cocoa, your 1 year job with 60% of your population is giving you just $1 billion and more. Meanwhile, somebody producing garments is producing garments for even Gap. It's doing $2-3 billion. So you have to look at the value of your export. The value of our export is negligible, in my view. So if after 50-something years, we are still going to depend on gold and timber and cocoa, I mean, in fact, we are not doing anything. It's like Yambobra in quotes. So for us, how do we solve this problem? Solving this problem is to industrialize, push manufacturing, do whatever it takes for manufacturers to settle within your economy and export so that you earn that hard-earned currency that you're looking for. If your manufacturing is not strong, we will be running this cycle for another 30 years until we take that bold decision and draw a line in the sand and say that, look, you know what, we are going to focus on manufacturing, give them all the necessary incentives, encouragement, attract them.
That's why you introduced 1D, 1F.
Yes, but we discussed that already, and I told you that it has its own successes, and I have my own views about it. So I don't want to dwell on that too much. It's been a success.
If we're looking for solutions, let's look at them.
Yes.
I mean, what are those views? What is it that we should have done?
That's why I think I believe that we should have targeted the investments, okay, to develop Ghanaian national champions, just like Korea did. Samsung, it was selling vegetables. Today, Samsung produces everything that you can think about. Daewoo, Hyundai, Nissan, all of them. These are deliberate policies to support indigenous investment or indigenous manufacturers to grow. once you do that, or to grow an export, for me, the export is the most important thing. Once you export and you are earning the hard currency, which is dollar, you solve this problem. Because look, if the currency devalues by 50%, I remember when about 2 years ago we had some crisis and the Cedi dropped from 10 to 18.
Yes.
I had constituents who are industrialists. They came to me. One Indian man, he was weeping. He had lost about $10 million in 1 week.
Whoa.
Of his capital.
Yeah.
And this is reality.
Yeah.
So I know larger industry. Somebody lost about 100 million Ghana cedis just on the currency devaluation. And I had to assure them that, look, calm down, and that the cedi will claw back. It's just a blip and it will claw back. So you don't go and buy any dollars. Just wait. And those who listen to me, or those who listen to me, save some money. But this is a reality, because it kills your purchasing power, it kills your capital. And the only way out, no matter what we do, is to industrialize, manufacture, and sell and export more. Because gold is not an infinite product. It will finish at one point in time. Oil is not cocoa. Today our cocoa yields, yes, but the world market price has gone up. But look at
we
our
can take
cocoa.
advantage of
Look
it.
at our
We don't have it.
Yes, look at our cocoa growing areas. They are all gone.
Galamsey.
Yes, because the people don't see the value in farming cocoa anymore. So, it even poses a national security threat. This currency devaluation, it poses a national security threat, because if the money in your pocket, if the money is in your pocket, but you've lost half of the value in 1 week, you cannot purchase the same thing that you bought last week and go back home. It will affect your electricity prices. Everything that you can think about. So, for me, I don't want to blame anyone, blame party A, party B. I'm not interested in that. I believe that, look, as Ghanaians, we should take the bull by the horn, be realistic to ourselves, be truthful, and draw a line and start afresh. For me, I believe that, yes, these things have happened in the tenure of our government. However, we have what it takes to make that difference in the lives of the people of Ghana. And I believe that if we give Dr. Bawumia the chance to run the show as the president himself, we'll be able to make amends on some of these things. Okay. That's my view.
Right. Busy.
Ronnie, I don't know what to think of President Yoweri Museveni of Uganda.
What I think of him?
Yes, I don't know. And perhaps it's not even necessary.
Yes.
But I know a lot of people who think that he doesn't meet a certain democratic standards and so on. That's not the point. I've got a video of him explaining the African economic condition. And it's one of the best explanations that I've ever heard in my life. And Randy, I'm going to make that video available to you as soon as I get to office.
I'll appreciate it.
Yeah. What is our problem? The United States dollar, what backs it? Nothing.
It's a fiat. It's just
the United States dollar is a piece of useless paper.
It's just paper.
In fact, if you think about the cost of printing currencies,
yes,
our currency costs more to print than the US dollar. Because basically the US dollar is 2 or 3 colors.
So I was going to raise that issue.
2 or 3 colors. We have a multitude of colors in our currency. So it costs more to print the cedi than to print the US dollar.
And once you print it, you make a loss. If you buy it, because you pay a price for it. So if it's 10 cedis and you print 10 of that, that is 100 cedis, let's even at $1. Once the money is printed, you lose that $1 off it. So it becomes.
So what makes the US dollar so strong? It's not backed by gold, it's not backed by anything, just a piece of paper.
It's backed by arms, strength, political hegemony.
Political hegemony,
yes,
imperialism.
Yes, imperialism.
You understand?
Political hegemony.
So even at the economic level, the struggle is not just pure economics. You understand? Sometimes you're dealing with political economy.
Yeah.
The level of your diplomacy, your influence in the world, all of those things affect the quality of your currency. Otherwise, the US dollar is worth nothing. You understand?
But that's, just to catch up, but that's why some countries are even shifting and are buying a lot of gold now. Some of the gold that are being shipped out of Ghana, or the money that is coming from, say in Ghana, is coming from Asian governments, India, China, and co, because people are actually hoarding gold now in anticipation that, look, we will dump the dollar very soon.
No, the Russians.
Yes, the Russians.
How have they managed to defeat this multiplicity of sanctions that has been imposed upon them in the West? It's back to referencing gold.
Gold, yes.
You understand? Now, fortunately for us, I think today Ghana is the largest producer of gold in Africa. What are we doing? What are we doing? You understand? And you make a very important point. Gold is a non-renewable resource. If you dig it out of the ground, you can't plant it, you can't do anything about it, it's gone and so on. And that is why we ought to be a lot more sensible about how we exploit our gold and what we do with it. And not just leave it to the rampants like Galamsey and so on, you see. Unfortunately, we've run into deep economic crisis. We are not able to generate enough resources to sustain even our poverty. Yeah, we've come to the stage where we are not producing enough resources to sustain our poverty at this level. We are sinking deeper and deeper and deeper. And what solution do our leaders find? Go to the IMF.
That's not a solution.
Go to the IMF, which will just insist on continuing on the same old stupid path. So I think that, look, the time has come for a rethinking of the economy.
Agree. We have to draw a line.
Because without a fundamental rethinking of the national economy, the cedi will continue to perform the way it is performing.
I know currency traders who hedge their bets from January that the cedi will drop. So, they short their bet and just wait for the cedi to drop to a certain level and then collect the
as a matter of fact,
because you know that it's going to happen.
Another view of the show, Prosper, it says that Nino is solid, a little truthful than an average politician.
Oh.
No, but he still does his things.
Oh.
No, I mean, I think that he's very well informed. The Honorable is very well informed. I think that he does concrete scientific analysis and so on, even though occasionally that political thing creeps in and so on. But it's forgivable. I mean, how many people in this country do pure scientific analysis? Very few. So I think you deserve the commendation.
I'm grateful.
And I think it helps the discussion. But the point I'm making is that at the beginning of the year, those who predicted that the cedi would hit 15, they were seen as doomsayers. You remember the kinds of things which were said about them and so on. Now we are there. And we are not even in the middle of the year. We are in May. The early stages of May, we've hit it. You understand? And it's going to get worse. Now, I agree fully with Randy. All of these things are happening at a time when we are not paying our external debts. So if we had started paying our external debts and so on, where would we be by now? And those debts have not been forgiven. They are lying there. They are waiting for us.
It doesn't even make sense, Kwesi, that in the report I read, there's a part that was missing, but that's what saddens me. That we are anticipating improved liquidity towards the end of Q2 when the IMF board approves the 360 million.
Yeah.
What is $360
million?
And we've been doing this syndicated cocoa loan.
Even before you go for the syndication, they can count the number of trees that you have and your yield. There's what do you call it?
Now we've gone into a point where
satellites.
Even the syndicated loan, we are scared. First of all, we struggled to even raise something small. Even the something small, we are scared to go for the second tranche because we don't have what it takes to pay.
You don't have the means.
That's where we are. That's where we are reached.
You don't have the beans.
That's the whole we find ourselves in.
And the quantity of beans you produce is progressively getting down because of Galamsey, primarily because of Galamsey. You understand? So, Landy, I mean, look, to be honest with you, when I sit back, and in all honesty, when I sit back, I ask myself, why are politicians competing for power? Because if you know the state of the national economy, if you know where we are, you must be, I can't say it, you must be something to be seeking power at this stage.
That's why I said, let Dr. Bamia correct the mistakes. Let's allow Dr. Bawumia to
He is the last person who should be attempting to become president.
Why? If you think that,
Because he should know better where we are today.
let him correct his mistakes. If there's a mistake, let him correct it.
But
So
if he knew
allow him
how
to
to
say
correct
power.
the mistakes, we will be where we are. If he knew how to correct the
But
mistakes,
he was not at the helm of affairs. Now let's give him the helm, and he will correct
when
the
I see
mistakes.
him saying, Fastia no mommy, and so on, I'm beginning to wonder. I mean, doesn't he know? This year, it's last year. Who wants to take this year?
We did it 7 years into waiting us.
Hey! Master, we are in very deep crisis. Oh.